Guys, you didn't tell me I was muted. Welcome in, everyone. Why do I always do that? Let me know if you can hear me okay. I fixed the sound. Let me know if you can hear me okay. Thanks for being here on this beautiful Saturday. Let me know if you can hear me. This is Tahirah, Mother of the Ages. I'm your supernatural quantum healer. I specialize in quantum healing technology, which includes quantum telepathic hypnosis and quantum telepathic readings with remote energy healing. Can you guys hear me okay? And if you like to book your own custom session or hear angelic or angel messages or messages from your ancestors, or if you need an entity removal, just go ahead and email instructions number 4 humanity@gmail.com. Also, I'm starting up my course again. If you guys want to learn how to become conscious, essentially become psychic, get all the clairvoyancies, communicate with spirit, remove entities, I'm going to be starting up another class here in a few weeks. So if you're interested in that, you can book a free 20-minute consultation with me to see if this is something that is right for you. You can email me for that free consultation link, and you can hear me now. Okay, let go, let go, let go. All right, guys, welcome in, everyone. Welcome in, Linda. Hi, Gail. Hi, beautiful gal. You can hear me now? Hi, Eldunde too. Okay, hope you guys can hear me now. So, really quickly, guys, this information is about to change your life. And it's so funny how we had to do all of the hard work in order to get here. We did all of the hard work. We did all of the heavy lifting last year, and the year before that, cleaning up ourselves internally, then cleaning up clients. Then you guys are coming with codes, and you guys are coming with pieces to the puzzle. And then just recently, we're really figuring this thing out on a collective scale. And now it has led to this point where this matrix is really just so simple. So we're going to talk about that in a moment. I want to give you guys some life updates because life has been lifing, girl. So we'll talk about that in a moment, and then we'll go into the shift that has already happened and kind of the new timeline, what to expect on this new expanded consciousness timeline that we're on. You may call this the New Earth timeline. You may also call this the Golden Age timeline, right? Or I call it the Diamond Path as well. And we will talk about that because the shift is here, and you should definitely be in your new cosmic time zone, right? This is where we are. It's not a full shift, but we have moved placements in the cosmic sphere, right? And this is coming through. This is what Mother Source is saying. I think this is Mother Ethereal chiming in. So yeah, very, very beautiful life updates, guys. So I've just been kind of taking some time to refresh myself, to relax. And over the weekend, a friend of mine is shooting a reality TV show. And you guys all know I used to be in television. I used to be a producer for Judge Judy, Judge Joe Brown, some different CBS shows. And yeah, I've worked in the business for over 10 years. Um, so it was cool. So being on set again, that was quite cool. Just, kind of, getting the eye together, helping her set up, kind of everything and make sure, she's camera ready, good to go and all that. That was amazing just as a sidebar. And she's also a client as well. So that's quite cool that one of my clients is going to be on a reality TV show. So that's really cool. And, I met a lot of other very beautiful people that are also on the show, and so more clients are coming in and that's pretty cool. And yeah, just met a lot of beautiful people over the weekend, and I'm really really proud of the people that I met because it's you know human beings are very resilient. I got to meet a lot of people that, are very, very successful, in their own right, in their respective businesses. And the fact that us as a people, as humanity, we've been overcome some of our traumas. So I got to hear some of the traumas over the weekend of people, and it's just like, wow, to see them kind of go from those traumas to where they are now. It's pretty remarkable as to how resilient we are. So, that was just very beautiful, and it really reinforced why it is that I do this work. So yeah, that was cool. And the weekend's not over. It's like another party, another, so I'll do all that in a bit later. But okay, let's get started with the video. Guys, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And if YouTube has unsubscribed you, girl, go ahead and resubscribe yourself. Please resubscribe yourself to the channel. Um, so let's talk about the shift that we're living in, right? So it's so funny because I was talking to my sister yesterday and, I was telling her about some of the heavy templates I had been working on. And these heavy templates, and I'll run down a few, but essentially removing the Leviathan. You guys all know the Leviathan, one of the most grandiose beasts, that speaks about in the Bible. And we actually did that in the class, in the quantum telepathic healing and psychic development class. An opportunity just presented itself. And I believe that the ladies that were in the class, they held certain codes to go ahead and get that removal for the collective. And so that was one of the templates. And then, the Yal Daboff, right? Template of removing this kind of collective devil that was prancing around and cloaking as God, right? So that was another big removal. And so it really, as we clear the collective, we're also clearing part of us because remember, we're all one. So these codes inside of you are also being purified. So I was talking to my sister about some of this work, and I'm like, yeah, I removed, it felt as if I was removing a yoke. You know how they say generational curses. Of course, mine is different. It's on a collective scale, but also too, we can scale it back down to just being you because you also have a code, right? And my sister was like, I feel it. She's like, I can feel the work that you've done because I feel more clear. She's very in tune and tapped in, much like myself. And she's very good with energy as well. And she's like, I can literally feel it. And literally, our whole lives has changed. Like both me and her, we are on the same timeline. And, there was people and other family members as well that started off this path with us, but we kind of noticed that some of them, or even most of them, are not on the same timeline that we are currently on. Our timeline is more free flowing. Our timeline is more faith based. Our timeline is more, you know, living within the manifestation. That's the timeline that we're both on. I think, there's been a lot of drastic changes, in her life and in my life in the, past recent, few months, especially over the last month per se. And it's clear that we made it to the higher path. So I wonder if this is happening to you guys. If you feel that you've made it to the higher path, if you just wake up and you feel happy for no reason, if you just wake up with a more clear mind, if you just have this feeling that you know that the things that you used to worry about, you don't worry about them so much. It's those little changes that really add to, how you feel on a collective scale just daily. And that's exactly where we're living. And I would bet that some of you all are living in this new path as well. It's like a change. It's like a cosmic time zone change, is what I'm being led to call it. So we're not all the way there into the new timeline, but what we did was we've gotten closer. If I were to fly from here to Los Angeles, I would go from East Coast time to now, West Coast time. And so that would be a 3 hour difference. This is what we are experiencing. So I'm going to sneeze. Sorry. So that's a confirmation. That's a spiritual sneeze. Sorry. That's a confirmation that what I'm saying is true and correct. So when everyone is talking about the shift, you have a lot of your spiritualists and spiritual teachers and psychics talking about the shift. Source wants us to know it is a cosmic time zone change, right? So technically, some of us are living in the future now, right? And that's the first thing I want to say. Oh, wow, I think I want to sneeze again. Okay, take a deep breath in and release. Okay. Sorry, guys, I'm being really silly. Today's just a light day, right? So yeah, we have shifted cosmically. So remember I told you guys months ago everything has changed, like all these different astrological signs, right? And placements. When you do your chart, right? Your natal chart, those things are different now. I'm not sure if astrologists or astrologers are still reading it, as normal, but Source has really said that those things have changed. And so we have to now go to Source for our natal charts and things like that, because there has been a shift. I do believe there are some skilled astrologers out there. They will figure it out. They will figure it out and they will be able to course correct, right? And so yeah, that's pretty much what's going on. And we are on a new path. We are ahead. We have literally entered into a new cosmic time zone. And so this brings new energy. This brings, new vibration. This brings new opportunities. This brings, things that you normally wouldn't do because you're living under a different placement, under a different zodiac. You might do that thing. You might start that business that you were scared to do. You might enter into that relationship that you maybe didn't want to or wasn't sure about. Maybe you are sure now. Maybe you're ready. You might release the old things that were stagnating you that you couldn't do just last month. This is what this shift or cosmic time zone change will allow us to do. So if you guys are here on this channel, more than likely we have all made that cosmic time zone shift. And so I just want to urge you guys that you're exactly where you need to be and to go ahead and start to take more chances, start to really release those old things. Remember, a timeline shift, a paradigm shift is just a shift in a decision. When you make enough decisions that differ from the timeline or path that you were on that you do not like, that no longer serves you. When you make enough of those changes, decisions, this is what puts you now on the other higher expanded timeline. We can shift timelines and shift our paradigm with a simple wave of, like a brain wave, just a simple shift in our perspective, which will give us a different decision to be made. This is how easy it is. And I believe in this new time zone, right, which leads to the new timeline shift, right? I believe we're going to be able to more easily move into these spaces and to be able to flow more. We're going to bring in more flow, which now leads me to this is all you truly need to know. This is all you need to know. This knowledge is going to set you free. And I want to give a shout out to Miss Sonia. Hi, in Buffalo Wild Wings. Welcome in. Welcome in, sisters. And everyone that's watching, just make sure you subscribe to the channel. And let's go ahead and talk about this because let's go back to the whole reason why humanity is here. So, guys, you have to pick up the Cosmic Bible. And to be honest with you, there's been so many changes in the past month or few months that now the Cosmic Bible, it's like it's literally right here, right now. It's everything that's going on within this current shift or time zone, cosmic time zone change. So pick that up on Amazon, guys. So we have to take it back to why are we here? Why did we get into the material world, right? One second, guys. Okay, sorry about that. So, why did we get into the material world? So, we have to take it back to, going back into Sophia's desire. So, Sophia desired to, essentially it's kind of like the last video that we did about Yaldabaoth or Yaldabaoth or Yaldabaoth, however you pronounce it. Where in the beginning there was only these two energies, and they were coexisting, but they were existing separately from each other. But then this energetic currency, which is like the masculine, when the feminine flowing waters merged with it, it created something that we call matter. So the water and the fire, the energy and the water. created matter. So essentially, Mother Source merged with Father Source's energy. And now we had something dense. So water became solidified. And then the material worlds were formed. This is truly the true version of the cosmos, but where it gets tainted is when the energy was stolen, right? So Yaldabaoth stole the feminine energy that was there on that dimension, which I saw was seventh dimension. So I'm going to show you, we're going to talk about Sophia. So Sophia is here, right? Let's say Sophia is the mother, right, of Yaldabaoth, and we're going to get there. So Sophia is coexisting with Father Source. And if Father Source and Mother Source were to now intertwine, it would what? Birth a creation. Because 1 + 1 always equals 3. Remember that. Because you have 2 of something, it now creates a third of something different, which is a combination of the 2. 1 + 1 is always 3. So we had the Mother Source energy and the Father Source energy. And when they came together, they now created all of us. This is the true love-making story, the birds and the bees of the cosmos, right? But then we have on this dimension where we're reviewing 2 videos back when I went to the year of 0000000, right? Where we were viewing kind of a deception that happened in the garden per se, in this Garden of Eden energy. However, it looked as if it was in heaven that was not formed. This was before heaven and earth was formed. So now I'm going to tell you about Sophia, how we get Yaldabaoth, and then how now the energies of the masculine and the feminine became colluded, right? So Sophia desired to create. She desired to almost be a little bit more masculine and have something tangible, instead of the free flowing spirit flowing waters, which is just like an energy, right? Hovering over the earth, hovering over things, just nurturing it. She wanted to create something, right? But she did not get the approval from the Father Source energy when she created something. She kind of created it almost like, if we can look at it like a bastard child, right? So this is how we get Yaldabaoth, right? Or Yaldabaoth. This is how we get him, because it was not done out of the balance of Mother and Father Source. So it tells you right there, the original wholeness is balance of masculine and feminine. After that happened, where it was only done from the feminine, right? And then that feminine part of her was actually utilizing the masculine part. Because remember, you have to have both energies in order to make a creation. However, she was using that within herself. And I kind of feel as if now it feels like magic. I'm kind of feeling her thought process and what's going on. So she's creating this thing, right? Which technically was supposed to be done with the 2 energies that were coexisting but separate. But that was not done. And she went ahead and said, look, I think I can just create this on my own, right? And so she created Yaldabaoth, right? Which is essentially a bastard child because it doesn't have a father, right? Because Father Source was not truly involved in this. So as the legend goes, that it was hideous. I'm not sure if she was embarrassed or if or if she was embarrassed of what she did. I think she was embarrassed that she created this without Father Source. And so, as legend goes, if I can remember it correctly, Yaldabaoth was kind of brought down to those lower dimensions and kind of just left there, right? So him just being left there, there's nobody around. I guess I must be God. I guess I must be supreme, right? Because remember, we got Mother and Father Source up here. Yaldabaoth was brought to this part of the universe, of the omniverse. And then Sophia left. It was only him. So I guess I'm God. So now we get to when I visited the year of 00000, right? And we have a water flowing, loving energy again on this lower dimension, which I believe I was viewing from around 7th dimension. So we naturally have mother source energies everywhere. It's all over the omnisphere. You can't, it is everything. It is the supreme codes, which everything emanates from. But then we have Yaldabaoth's energy, which because he was a bastard child, he does not have what? Balance. He lacked the balance how he was created. So there was this other energy that was there that was free flowing. This feminine loving waters that was free flowing, that was making all these, existed in the creation of just self, which is crystalline vibration. This is in everything she created through just her essence, spirit consciousness was all crystalline. He saw that, and because he truly did not have a father, he didn't have the balance of the true masculine. He saw what this feminine energy was doing on her own. So he merged with her. And when the merger happened, it took the mother source energy or the mother water energy out of balance. Imagine scooping up water and capturing it. That would be pretty hard, but imagine if you could do that. And then now solidifying that. Imagine freezing it, changing the molecular structure of it so that it doesn't even know that it was once free flowing waters. This is what the merger with Yaldabaoth or Yaldabaoth did, right? And so now what we have a wounded masculine who never actually had the balance of the masculine, how he was created just by Sophia. But then also, too, he didn't have the nurturing aspect of a mother because the mother was ashamed of her creation. So he was just brought down here to these realms. And so now we have a wound within himself, not really having a father, the masculine, to truly create, to truly provide, right? But not really having the nurturing aspect of the feminine as well. So we have him already in fragmentation. He was fragmented, cut off from the masculine, but also then not nurtured from the feminine. So humanity, right, when Yaldabaoth merged with the primordial waters, matter was formed, and now these physical lower realms were now able to be formed. And this is how we get heavens, and there's multiple heavens all the way down to the earth realms and even the negative dimensions. And so I'm here to tell you that this knowledge will set you free, because all you need to know is that the oneness we're seeking is to correct code. We're here to correct the original infliction. The original infliction, see how we build on this, may have been removing Yaldabaoth, and even I want him blotted out because of everything that he's done. However, when you have time to sit, when you allow time for the anger and the emotions to kind of go back into balance, now you can think clearly out of the balance of the right and left hemisphere. And now I see that it's bigger than just Yaldabaoth. So remember, anytime we are angered, if we take a little time, and we will see that the problem didn't start with Yaldabaoth. He was a product of his environment. He was a product of not having the balance of the masculine and feminine, which is the original sin or the original fragmentation. So we lost our way through the original fragmentation of Sophia. And Yaldabaoth was a tyrant. And Yaldabaoth created all of these things that we try to get out of. And he was power hungry, yes. And he wanted more of his share. And he colluded and, with the archons to keep us, in his game, right? Because he just has ego. He doesn't have the true balance of that. So now we see where we are, and this is the knowledge that's going to set you free. It's not so much about fixing your financial problems or your job, or even the isolated personality flaws. It's all about fixing the original code, which was before bringing it back to before the fragmentation. So now, where my work is leading me is to now go back to heal Sophia and even in a way heal Father Source, because there was that was definitely out of divine alignment. So this is where now our work leads us to. But where humanity must know the only reason you are here in physicality is because of the fragmentation and the imbalance between the masculine and the feminine. And it sounds so simple, but look, it took me about a year and a half to get here. We had to first get through all the ghosts and goblins and and demons attached, and releasing of energies and souls and all of that to get to Yaldabaoth, but now to get to how he was formed, which was out of divine order, out of balance. So if you're doing anything out of balance, just know you are in alignment with the original fragmentation. And this is even how we get to, and we can even start to think about, maybe even same-sex relationships. And it doesn't mean that necessarily same-sex relationships, right, are wrong, but it means about the balance of masculine and feminine. If you have a same-sex relationship and there's no balance between the two energies, then there's a problem because we're still in the fragmentation, is what I'm saying. And if we now go down to, even an individual scale, if you have no balance between your masculine and your feminine, then you're living within the original sin, the original fragmentation. This is why you are here. This is your soul's purpose. This is the purpose that's been working in the background, the code that's been working in the background, that mathematical equation, which source naturally is, that's been working in the background. It's saying, please bring us back into balance. Put the original code back together. It's like a mother and a father who are having a tiff for all of this time because mother kind of messed up and did something. And, to be honest, father is not, he's not all the way with it. And he might feel a certain way. Our parents have a riff, is kind of what I'm feeling. And it's like, a little child walks up to mom and dad, they have a fight, and takes mom's hand and takes dad's hand and just like makes them hold hands. Kind of what I'm seeing the Earth children need to do. And it's quite beautiful. I didn't know that Yaldabaoth would lead here, but it did. And so this is how we fix the fragmentation. It's not necessarily now about Yaldabaoth. It's not necessarily about him. He's a product of his environment. It's about fixing the relationship between mother source and father source. Father source, it appears, there was some resentment, maybe not resentment, maybe a little bit of the thing about it is the masculine code is true to form. The mathematical equation, okay, 1 + 1 = 3. And then Sophia, okay, this 1 + 1 equals -1. Like how does that work? The code is off, right? So it's not the resentment necessarily from father, from this masculine mind. It's more so, how did the code, what did you do to the code, Sophia? Right? It's more so the code was perfection. But what this part of the code, because remember, you have to refine every part of yourself, becoming crystalline in all of your ways, right? This part of the code must be fixed. Is kind of, this is kind of the last piece that Father's trying to put together in this code, right, of creation. And it's kind of like, how did it get like this? This is what the masculine mind is saying. And and the feminine, right? The Sophia, it's feeling a bit, I don't want to say guilty, but almost as if, when you're trying to fix something before someone notices, and the and that kind of messes it up a bit more because you're doing it in a different vibration. You know what I mean? And you're kind of doing things in a rush a little bit. This is kind of what I'm kind of seeing. And the feminine, right, is that flow. It's that spirituality. It's the go with the flow. It's the light and airy. It could also be the sometimes absent-mindedness, right? It can be so much in flow that it needs to seek balance. So it's truly about bringing these two back together and getting over the original infliction. The original infliction was just out of alignment of the code of perfection, which is source. That was a way for me to explain it to a human mind, but to source, we take away the emotions and we look at code, and we look at kind of a quantum computing thing that says error, 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 right? This is an error within the code of our creation. This is really from the cosmic sphere of how it would be looked at. And so the error that you are here to fix is to bring back the energy prior to the fragmentation, to exist and to coexist, to exist and coexist. Do you see what I'm saying? To exist in your wholeness as a balanced being within yourself, so much so that you can't differentiate masculine and feminine. We should not be saying masculine and feminine. The very fact that we have to pull those two apart, it's we are still running out of the code that is part of the fragmentation, right? And so this is what you're here for. This knowledge will set you free. You are here to fix code, and you are here to exist as a whole being, but to also coexist within the balance of masculine and feminine energies. And how we experience that on the earth plane is through relationships. So anytime you have a relationship that is not balanced out of the feminine and the masculine, there will be strife. It will not be an easy relationship because you are in alignment with the original sin. Sophia took the masculine role upon herself. She had the feminine and the masculine, and it was skewed. So it was probably, I don't know, either a wounded or a toxic masculine, or possibly a wounded feminine, right? That that did this. But I think she was just curious. I think she was just excited to create something, you know? Um, so this is the knowledge that will set you free. Anything you're doing in your life, the only thing you need to ask yourself, is this done out of balance? If you are trying to get to a goal, right? Let's say you're running a marathon, right? And you need to get in shape. Am I doing this out of balance, right? Am I eating out of balance? Am I training out of balance, right? Am I, my work and my home life, is it balanced? Is my, party versus solitude time, is that balance? We don't need to worry with the small details because that is part of the original sin, the material world. All of those little things that we have to do on the day to day, those things are just background noise, part of the matrix stuff, which is not part of the original code. The original code says we need balance between the masculine brain and the feminine brain, because I would beg to say that there wasn't any difference between left brain, right hemisphere, and left hemisphere of the brain. This is part of the Yaldabaoth's fragmentation. So if you guys know anything about this, then the left brain is masculine, the right brain is feminine. However, the left masculine brain controls the right part of the body, which is feminine body. The right feminine brain controls the left part of the body, which is, wait a minute, switch it. Hold on. Left brain masculine, right body feminine. Right brain feminine, left body masculine, right? So, yes. So, ask yourself why so much fragmentation? Why does left brain control right body and right brain control left body? Because there is no fragmentation. Because if I have feminine brain and it controls the left masculine body, then that means I need to have balance between my feminine part of myself, the feminine, processing system, and the masculine body. The masculine body can't just go off and be all masculine because no, it needs the right hemisphere, feminine brain in order to now allow the thoughts that the masculine body wants to do. It has to ask permission from the right feminine brain. It can't just move on its own and vice versa. The left masculine brain, your logic, decision making, your reasoning, the ability to strategize, it can't just move without the feminine right body. These are the checks and balances. It's in our own anatomy. It's in your own anatomy. It's saying, wait, you can't have one without the other. These are the checks and balances. But it's fragmented at the same time. It's in quadrants. And going back to last video, Source was talking about the quadrants, and now I understand what Source is talking about. These are the quadrants which are part of the fragmentation. So the original sin, how you get the separation between your right and your left brain, is simply because of going back to the story of Sophia, and Yaldabaoth's code was fragmented. And so now your right and your left brain became fragmented too. This is the knowledge that will set you free because now we understand why it happened. And so now we understand why we are here, or rather, we are here. And if you want to go home, then you must reach balance or homeostasis. When you reach balance, you can now go into a state of homeostasis, which is a steady state of being. And when you are being, then you are in alignment with the original code before any fragmentations. So this is a knowledge that's going to set you free. It's about being balanced within masculine and feminine, or structure, logic, planning versus flowing, creativity, artsy. You can't be all one way in your life. You have to strike a balance. And if that's why, many people nowadays, they say a lot of women have a lot of masculine traits, because our society, right? We have to be masculine because the masculine is the part that goes to work. It's the part that clocks in. It's not your feminine, it ain't clocking in to a 9 to 5. It's not showing up. Feminine ain't showing up. Feminine might show up, but it's the masculine that has the drive to get up, to drive you there, to clock in, to last for the 8 or 10 hours that you're going to be working. That's all masculine. Once the masculine gets you there, the feminine might say, "Oh, I'm going to do this today or that today," and or maybe you have a job where you get to create, get to be a little bit more in the right feminine brain. But it's definitely the masculine is the driving force there. And nowadays, men have a hard time. They say a lot of women are masculine, so it messes up the balance, especially if they are masculine. Now, there's also men that are leaned to be more feminine, right? And those men would pair well with a woman that has a little bit more masculinity, you know. And nowadays, you kind of got to be masculine if you need to go to work and take care of yourself, right? So it's kind of hard to rest in the femininity when there's so much about our matrix that is dependent on labor. You know what I mean? In exchange for money and survival. So this is kind of what I'm saying. It's kind of that same thing. That is living out of the fragmentation. And we will not ascend as humanity until mother and father are like literally they fix the code. If you have the cosmic Bible, this literally outlines it there. And I'm just remembering this now. Mother and father source say, hey, we got a little naughty with our creation. We wanted to find out what would it be to create something outside of self, outside of source. And that's another way we got fragmented, right? So remember, but the source is the one mind, which which is all, which is feminine and masculine. When that was fragmented, when they created something outside of themselves, it gave birth as well to the knowledge. They say the knowledge of good and evil. Well, the knowledge of masculine and feminine. Before we were actually coexisting as just beings that there wasn't any need for sex, right? You just were. You just were. Let that sink in. This is how we're trying to just get back to when you just are. And now I'm kind of understanding that in order for Sophia to create Yaldabaoth, there was already some sort of rift between mother and father source. I don't know what that was. And maybe this is something that we're going into because they should have been one, but they weren't. So there was something that was happening that had already happened, which we doesn't appear that we're privy to in any sort of current biblical text that we have. Maybe some of the ancient texts will mention this. I don't know, but this is kind of what I'm feeling. If they were already separate, even though they were coexisting, but if they were already separate, there probably was already a whole nother creation that we had literally started this creation off on. This is what sources truly say. Message. Spirit ain't never lied. So this is what we are truly here for. This is the knowledge that's going to set you free. So when you do anything, you do it from balance. If you do everything in your life from balance, your life will instantly go into alignment. When you go to work and you can understand, I'm using the masculine to go to work and clock in. But when you go home, you can understand masculine has clocked out now. Now I'm going into the feminine. Understanding the tasks and the roles that each one plays is how we strike this balance to get back to the original code before the tiff between mother and father source, right? So we're going to do some more building upon this. I don't have a lot of time to go all the way into this teaching today, but this is where we're kind of going to start. But we can take this within our own lives as well. And just try it out for a month and just create balance, symmetry within your own life. I'm talking finances, health, relationships, aspirations, saving versus spending. When we strike balance in these areas, you are literally striking balance between masculine and feminine, because the masculine and feminine brain is what controls all of these things in our life. And that's all we're doing is correcting code. That's it. That is it. And try it out for a month, and you're going to see you're going to get much further than you've ever been. And so this is a cheat code into rapid, so this is like a quantum cheat code into, quantum manifestation. Is just go through all those areas in your life and strike balance. Not too much, not too little, but just right. You'll be amazed in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, a year, how your life will transform. We need to stop doing hocus pocus, guys, and just do the real work and correct code. That's all we're doing here is correcting code. Let me know if you guys have any questions. And if you don't, then I'm going to go ahead and end this. Sorry, guys, I think I gotta go. But okay. So if you guys don't have any questions about that teaching, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. You're welcome. Thank you, Gail. My sister is talking to me, and I'm like, I'm alive. So yeah, this was beautiful, guys. And just get balance. That's it. Just get balance. And that's what I'm doing this weekend. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna get balance because I'm always working. I'm always inside. I'm always, in spirit, you know, it's time to, get balanced. Yeah. Awesome, guys. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, but I love you guys. I love you. I love you. And so it is as we walk together in divine love. Be well. My hearts don't work here. Oh, there they are. Okay. Be well, guys. Bye.